The confidence on the show, it doesn't exist. because guys, we're talking about a live show with a brand new dance every week.
What was your first reaction when you found out Danielle was your partner?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, like first of all,
Wicked.
halfway through the competition, yep.
What can we look for in the dance? Is there anything you can say about it?
So we're personally doing the Argentine tango. So we're doing No Good Deed.
Two rehearsals today?
Most of the days for pros, it feels like two rehearsals, because if we are not teaching the celeb, we are probably choreographing our next dance, you know?
Oh, so you're already working on that.
Yeah. So like every day, like the 4 hours that you have with your celeb is a guaranteed one rehearsal. And then, for example, yesterday we had a 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. All pro rehearsal for the opening number this coming Tuesday, you know? And then today I'm already choreographing my next week's dance. So basically, yeah, every day you have at least 2 or 3 for the pros for sure.
And is that just you in the rehearsal studio playing it on loop 100 times, figuring out what you're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, first, like I really like play it by myself, you know, thinking about the ideas, thinking of steps I want to do, of like the ideas. But then in order to actually see how they look, you need to try it with somebody, right? So that's why we call it having a body, you know, having someone to try it with. So, you know, you can call your friends, somebody who can, or, you know, like your colleagues, whatever, and you go into the studio and you already kind of have a choreo prepared, but you need to try it with them. You know, you want to like do it, and then you want to tape it yourself, see it from the outside if what you heard and what you envisioned. First of all, if it actually works, you know, you try and like, okay, I envisioned it. Let's see if it works. Let's see if we can do it to the speed, you know, with the music. And then you record it, you watch it back, and you're like, you know, I thought it's going to sound nice when we do this move, but it doesn't really match. Let's try something else. So this is the process, really. Yeah.
That's what I love about the show, is that there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we don't get to see, but now getting to hear it from you is so crazy. Who do you have as your body normally? Is there one person you try and stick to? Because I imagine Danielle is so busy.
Yeah, so what happens is, of course, me and Danny will try to help each other as much as possible. But this is the thing, people are like, oh, well, you have each other, which is great, you know, and it is great. But the thing is, for example, if, let's say, I'm going and I'm doing prepping the choreo with somebody else, then let's say it takes me 2 hours, for example, right? Then it's 2 hours out of that day. If we're helping each other, I'm using 2 hours of Danny's time, and then she needs me for 2 hours to do the same thing. So now we are stuck for 4 hours, you know? So on one hand, it's great we have each other, but specifically like this season, our schedules are really off. Like when I'm rehearsing in the morning, she's at night, or the other way around. So we barely see each other, period.
Do you plan that on purpose for Nikita?
Well, honestly, it goes based on so many things. It's the fittings, the celebrities' availability, the studio availability, all of these things. So we're kind of being thrown into whatever is available. It does work out well, though, that, for example, if in the evening I'm home early, I can put Nikita to sleep, or vice versa, or one of us can spend a little bit of time in the morning with her. So that definitely, you know, has a positive aspect to it. But in terms of helping each other, it is great when we do have that time that we get each other's help. Otherwise, we do it separately. But then, of course, you know, we still go, we show each other, okay, this is what I did. See, like, do you like it? So we still have like each other's opinions and, you know, like direction. So even if we don't prep it together, we still kind of ended up looking at the choreo, you know.
Dancing with the Stars is such a well-oiled machine, and you talking about it just shows how much really goes into it. Is there anything this season that's shocking to you that is just different? Something the fans might not realize behind the scenes?
Well, I think there are a lot of things that fans do not realize, you know, because again, it's like you don't understand what happens behind the closed doors, how the whole process works. For example, we did a dedication night last week, right? And we had Bill Daniels as part of our dance.
98-year-old Bill
98 and a
Daniels.
half years old. Crazy.
And
right?
a half.
Yes, and a half.
Wow.
What an epic moment, you know. He was there with his wife. She's 96. They've been married for 74 years. Yeah, it's insane. Legendary. And for example, when we announced that we're going to, Danielle did a podcast, she announced that he's going to be part of our dance. Fans of Boy Meets World, like all the 90s kids, millennials, everyone went crazy, right? For them, it's like such nostalgia. They grew up on it, to see that they were all looking forward to it. And in the comments, everybody's like, oh my God, I wish they did this from the show, or they did this from the show and they did this. And funny thing is that when we're thinking about these things, we want to do all of those things. I mean, first of all, in a minute long or minute and a half long dance, it's impossible to do all of it. But there would be a lot of things out of what fans are commenting we actually were thinking about to begin with. But for example, what fans don't realize is a lot has to do with IP rights, right? So, and this is just one example, but I'm talking about every week, right? If we have a Wicked Week coming up this week, you can imagine the IP rights on that or something else, right? Song wise,
Getting Sabrina
creative
Carpenter's.
wise, yes, getting Sabrina Carpenter's song. Thank God Danielle is, her bestie, so they can figure that out. But like all of these things, there was a behind the scenes things that like fans, I don't think they realize. But when we're dealing with IP rights, even copying the smallest little thing from the show, or you hear somebody's voice or a sound from there, or whatever it might be, you might run into issues. So therefore, as creative as you can get, you have to really understand like what is realistic based on all the rules, laws, and everything that
There's
goes
boundaries and limitations.
Yeah.
Wow. Wicked, week 5 coming up. Is there
already week 6?
Week 6.
Halfway through the competition, yep.
Is there anything you can allude, or what can we look for in the dance? Is there anything you can say about it?
The styles already came out. So we're personally doing the Argentine tango. And I think they announced the songs already, so I think I'm free to say that as well. So we're doing No Good Deed. Wow. Yeah, and it's definitely one of the songs that has a very different vibe from the rest of them throughout the movie. And for us, it's a great style because we haven't done anything like that yet. And it's the only style that we've done so far that allows lifts. Right? We cannot do like lifts in all styles.
Oh, the other ones don't allow lifts?
No. So we have styles on the show that allow lift, which is contemporary jazz, Argentine tango, Charleston, salsa, and the freestyle, of course, right? Those allow lifts. Everything else that's like clean ballroom, like tango, cha-cha, samba, we're not allowed to do lifts. So this is our first dance when we get to do this. So this is exciting. And it's a definitely very different vibe from anything we've done so far. We did a lot of like quick step, jive, even the foxtrot that we did like very classy, but we did it in a TikTok week, and we had Man Child, Sabrina Carpenter's song, which has like a different vibe, from, it's not like a classic foxtrot, and even the tango that we did week 1, it's not like La Comparsita or Tanguera, it's Stronger, right? Kelly Clarkson. So still we like in a very pop world, right? And this is the first one when we get to be like in this dark, more moody dance. So it's exciting. It's definitely going to be like a full U-turn from anything we've done so far.
Are you excited for the costume that you have for it? Do you know what you're wearing already?
I know what I'm wearing. And for our dance, it's actually super classy and very fitting to the style that we're doing. I always like that, when you feel very comfortable, because sometimes we can have some crazy like juxtaposition between the dance and the costume. Like, of course, sometimes on a Halloween night, we can have like a crazy, like, okay, let's do I don't know, let's do a foxtrot, but we're gonna be dressed as zombies, like foxtrot and zombies, like, okay, let's make that work. This one, because of the theme and the song and everything, actually our costumes are pretty classy for an Argentine tango, I would say. So I think it's going to be very nice.
What's up, guys? Real quick, this episode is brought to you by Aonic. Aonic provides clean hydration crafted with magnesium, electrolytes, and real fruit juice. Made for those looking to get the most out of hydration. We've got some sparkling passion fruit, some sparkling orange, and a sparkling raspberry. Aonic is developing the world's most advanced ecosystem for functional nutrition to make healthy living enjoyable. Aonic delivers pure science-driven nutrition, and every formula targets a clear need and delivers benefits you can feel. What I love most about it is that there's no pixie dusting of ingredients, which means they only use clinical validated dosages. Plus, it's third-party verified. Independent labs test every batch and they publish the results. It's got premium natural ingredients from real cacao and vanilla in Aonic Fuel to real fruit juice in Aonic Revive. Plus, the best part, low calories, baby. Only 15 calories in this whole can. Delicious taste, zero artificial, low in sugar and calories. No caffeine or added sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no GMOs. It's just the right amount of fruit juice compared to sweetness. It's really good. We've got some chromium, some B vitamins, some zinc. I love drinking it after a hike. I love drinking it after pickleball. It's really, really good. So if you want to try it, it's going to be linked down below. Stay hydrated, my friends. Now back to the podcast. I'd love to get your perspective because being a professional dancer, ballroom competitions, who had the most difficult dance style matched with a song? Where maybe the tempo, the beat, it just, you were like, wow, I can't believe they made that work.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything come to mind for that?
Yes. What comes to my mind is Danny's and Iman's freestyle to Us. I got 5 on it from Us when the one that
The one that Emmy?
the one that was Emmy nominated.
Emmy nominated.
Right. So that one had barely any beats or rhythm or any metronome.
Right.
So they had to really feel those pauses, how long they are, before like the whistle sound comes in or the voice comes in. So that is hard to make it work. It's kind of like when you're recording a TikTok with a voice and there's like a pause and you're like, I need to say it, like open my mouth exactly at that time. Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you're like, oh, I need to do a few tries to like match it perfectly. So imagine the same thing in a dance. Like, you know your moves, but you need to feel the pause before that instrument comes in or something. So I think that one was very impressive because Danny being a professional dancer, but Iman, I think it's because he has that music, like background and really feels and can sit in a pocket and anticipate when that sound comes in. That helped him a lot with that dance.
Wow. That was an incredible dance.
Mm-hmm.
Like absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah. I'd love to play a game where we get to know some of the fellow pros behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So if you could just shout out the person's name that first comes to mind.
I'm sorry in advance. I apologize in advance if I throw anybody under the bus with these questions.
Which pro is most likely to show up late to rehearsal but still nail the routine?
Val, Gleb, Mark. Yeah, those 3 definitely sometimes are late.
Are you on time?
But I have, that's my pet peeve, like being late. Oh, I hate being late.
You were flawlessly on time today.
I mean, I was 2 minutes late.
2 minutes late.
And I warned you, I'm like, ETA 3:02.
But I did get the heads up, which was the most appreciated.
Yeah.
Which pro would win a dance-off at an after party?
Dance-off at an after party, that would be Jenna Johnson.
She'd throw it down?
I don't know. All I know is that she would definitely do one of those like b-boy upside down breakdance moves, because I remember in Good Morning America she pulled one time and I'm like, I can see her doing that.
Who's the clean freak in the dressing rooms?
BRIT, Gleb. I know that from tour. Right, because
the way they kept their bunk.
Because we have I've never been on a bus with Brit, but I hear how spotless it is because of her. But I know how she is in our common space in theaters all the time. So I know Brit and Gleb. I was on a bus with him, like super clean, super organized. Yeah. So from tour, and when you get to see it for 4 months in a row, living in such close proximities, it's for real.
If all the pros had to sing for one episode, who would actually sound good?
Oh, Mark Ballas. He can actually sing. Yeah, that's an obvious one.
Who brings the best snacks to rehearsals? Celeb or pro?
Best snacks?
Yeah. Who's packing their own stuff?
When it comes to snacks, I always think Brandon, because me and Brandon, we always talk about food. We argue about it very often too.
He is very opinionated on fast foods.
He is, yes, very opinionated, and we always butt heads with that. One time he said gelato and ice cream are the same thing. I'm like, are you kidding me? Excuse me, please. Um, but also I would say Danny, and I don't know if it's about like snacks, but Danny always has food near her and she's always eating. Like if you look at Danny, sometimes you catch her, she'll be always eating. It was actually a funny story last season. Sasha always catches her like with his stories when he like records things, always catches her eating. He'll like, Danya, you're eating again, like all the time. And there was one time when he turns on his phone again to record and he records her and she's like, you see, no food, I'm not eating. And as she says that, the PA comes in and he's like, Danny, your food delivery is here. We were dying. It was like the timing could not have been more perfect. Yeah, Danny is always eating.
Even at home?
Yeah, we're both foodies, we
Yeah.
love food, we love to eat. Yeah.
Who takes longer to get ready, you or Danny?
Oh, Danny, 100%. Yeah.
Are you fast?
Getting ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dancing to the Jungle Book. All the set design and the imagery was so beautiful. Do you have a hand in saying, oh, maybe we could get some of this, some of that? And how does it come into play with the costume design? Are you guys narrowing through what you want to wear for it?
So again, it's a process. Every week is different. There is such things as like different weeks have different budgets. Some weeks you can see, have a little bit less of a set design. It's a bit more simple. Some weeks have more. And you also, sometimes like this one they present to you and they're like, okay, you're doing the Jungle Book, and the creative team presents to you the entire set. And you're like, wow, this looks beautiful. I love it. And they're like, we're going to recreate the throne. And it would be amazing if you could obviously use it. So that's not just standing there. Like, can you start on a throne? So we're like, great, love it. Let's start on a throne, on a walkway before we come down. So it's an entire conversation with the creative team, right?
Are they pulling that from Disney parks? Is that stuff that's already made?
I think it's different.
Because I just picture everything on set is in a warehouse at Disney.
I actually don't know specifically about that. I know that like sometimes they have, let's say, from previous seasons, and they can like restructure it and maybe redecorate it.
Right.
And some things like a build from scratch. I know like we have this huge mirrored boombox. I don't know if you've seen it, right? Like
Yeah,
that
wasn't
has
it?
been used already like a few times, but it's like if it matches the vibe, they use it. It's ginormous and it's gorgeous. Or like mirable heart or things like this, right? But then some things they build from scratch just for that episode. Yeah, I actually don't know about this throne, but it was a real stone. It was super heavy, and we didn't get a chance. Again, this is another thing I think was very interesting for the fans that they don't really know, because behind the scenes type of stuff. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, we don't get to work with those things until the day off. We have something maybe similar in the studio when we practice. But for example, the only thing we had this time, the entire week, is the platform, how high it is going to be from the floor on which the throne is standing. And we would just had a regular chair on a platform, and then we had the steps that weren't exactly how it's going to be, but at least they were close. So when you're rehearsing, you're kind of like, okay, I'm prepping these steps. Hopefully it will work, because like they send you the dimensions and like how big that chair is going to be and everything, but until you actually like there touching that stone chair and like, okay, I need to jump on it or jump off of it or whatever. So you don't really get to feel it until Monday, until camera blocking. So this is the first time when you actually get to like try things, and like some things are more complicated than others. Like throne is maybe not so complicated, but some other things can be more complicated, and you're like, this is the first time I try it, and that's gonna be Monday. We did not see Bill Daniels until our dress rehearsal on Tuesday. That's the first time. Of course, he wasn't dancing with us, he was just there, but still, like just to even have that, different energy, himself standing there by that table, and then us running up to him at the end. It's tiny little things that doesn't really affect our dance in this case, but so in this case, we haven't even seen him. The only time we did the dance with him was 2 hours before the live show when we did the dress run.
I love seeing in between the dances how supportive everybody is of each other. So I was in week 2, I think, and just getting to see the way that you look at Danny when she's performing is the most beautiful thing. Like, honestly.
Thank you. Sometimes I leave the room. 'Cause I'm
Why?
just like too nervous.
Oh, for her?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said that last time because you don't get to control how she's doing, and you're
Yeah. Yeah. So, for example, during the contemporary, I actually did not watch it. I left the ballroom and I was like, I'm just. And also depends of where you are in the show. Like, for example, when um if we were dancing this time, we were ninth in order, right? Another interesting fact, I think, for the fans, because you see us in the skybox supporting each other, right? But 3 dances before your dance, this is when you get pulled out of the skybox to get touch ups, for the hair and makeup, to warm up, review your routine, and preset for where you need to come out. So 3 dances before that, with obviously, like whatever that time is with the commercial breaks and packages and everything. This is how far in advance you're already basically you're not in the skybox for sure. There can be other times when you're not in the skybox for other reasons, but these 3 for sure. So we were going ninth. I think Danny was going sixth. So at that time, I already was not in the skybox, but I had a chance backstage to watch it on TV, right? But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk out. So for that one, I walked out, and then I came in and I heard the feedback from the judges. I saw the scores. I was like, must have been amazing. Cannot wait to watch it. Yeah. So and then like already watched. I was like, wow, that was really good.
Do you ever go home and watch the show in full with all the intros and stuff? No time.
No time. There's just no time because you get home late. Next morning already, starting again. So never, I haven't seen a single episode beginning to end.
It's great.
Sometimes I don't even like get a chance to watch our own things, like maybe just like a package and a dance, and that's it.
Where does Danielle prefer to be in the night when she's dancing? In the beginning or toward the end?
We had 3 times in a row, week 2, 3, and 4, where we were second and third. So it was going in the beginning. It's tough to go in the beginning, but at the same time, once you're done, you can actually enjoy the rest of the show.
And
Like
see
truly
everyone
go in the
else.
skybox, watch everybody, support everybody, and just like relax. Versus when you're there, even if you're watching to then go and perform, you kind of still have to stay focused, you have to stay warm, you have to stay active. And specifically dedication night, we went ninth, almost last, and it was such an emotional night. We cried several times leading up to our dance. So it was a lot. Before we even danced, we already like experienced so much emotion. So a night like that, definitely going early, I think, is easier because then you can just like let yourself loose, take all that emotion in rather than like crying, but like, okay, hold on, I still need to focus, I still need to perform myself. Yeah.
After a long night, the adrenaline's pumping, the show's over. Where do you and Danny go?
We go together, Dylan with his girlfriend, Danielle with her husband, and Danny and I, 6 of us, we eat together.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes we just do like little burgers in our trailers, or sometimes we go out and we go and we get like Italian or sushi or something like that.
Are you and Danny commandeering where to go, being the foodies?
We definitely had a lot of say in it, yes.
A lot of opinions. Where'd you do sushi the other day?
We went to Koi.
Is that good?
Really good.
Is that near the Grove?
No, actually, yeah, it's like 5 minutes away.
I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's good.
I just passed have you been to For the Win Burger?
No,
Are you a burger guy?
I am.
There's a For the Win Burger. It's kind of near the on-ramp to the 101, but I just realized where it is. So now that's next on my list of where I have to go.
All right.
That's one of the top burgers here,
Okay.
allegedly. I'll find out.
Okay. Cool. I definitely need to try it.
How did you like having a fourth judge on the panel this week?
Amazing. Amazing. I think like when they have guest judge, it's always different. And I feel like, for example, we had Michael Bublé for Michael Bublé night, and it's great. It's his songs. And you get a feedback from an entertainer, right? So he can give you his perspective. He doesn't need to know specifically, he's the fourth judge, right? So he doesn't need specifically to know the ins and outs of the dancing itself. But as an entertainer, he can probably tell, like whether you're there performing well enough or your energy, or he liked it or didn't like it, just as simple as that, right? So, or in this case, we had literally two-time champion of Dancing with the Stars. Um, Kym have like an extensive ballroom background, so her comments were very precise for everybody, and they were with great examples right away. Something that's like very applicable. And even though they were for that specific dance, but I feel like they were also applicable to other dances, which is great. As an example, if you get a comment about, I don't know, let's say paso doble, and it's something about specifically a specific type of step in that dance, right? And you're like, great, it's true, but I'm not gonna do another paso doble this season. So like, it's a great thing. If it's about a specific step, there is really not much maybe you can do. But sometimes it can be transferred to other dances, and that's when it's great. Because, for example, if Kym was giving an example of imagining holding, I don't remember who she said it to, but she's like, imagine you are carrying two heavy bags while you're dancing this. So you feel like your shoulders are being pulled, but you yourself standing tall with your spine and you have great posture. I can use that in any of my ballroom dances. Or she said to us, she said, put like a pencil or like a pen between the fingers so you can have like a nice energy in the fingers as you dance. Great. That's applicable to almost any dance. So some things can be very specific and they're very true, but it's sometimes just like hard to apply to something else. And some things can be like applicable throughout. So those are like amazing.
Right. You have another fourth judge coming next week.
Correct.
John Chu, right?
Yes.
Do you do anything specific to try and win him over?
No, because I think it's like this. Imagine you have a celebrity, you have a style of dance, you have a song, you're trying to choreograph the best that you can that style to that song. Then you spend an entire week of making sure that your partner can do it well, look good doing it, feel confident doing it. Like, you just being able to do that job, is all you have in your mind. So that by Tuesday, when the show is live and you're live in front of millions of people, you do a good job. I think winning the judges over specifically is like kind of like the last thing in your mind, because how can you know like what they're thinking? Of course, in terms of like, you understand that, let's say, the three main judges, you know that, okay, in a ballroom dance they will probably be looking for this, like in samba they would probably be looking for this, like the bounce, the hip action, and this and that, like in cha-cha, straight legs and sharp hands; in foxtrot, clean frame, smooth movement across the floor overall. So when you're practicing that, that's part of you just like teaching and practicing that. So hopefully those things win you over, and of course the performance factor and all of those things on top. But how do you win like a fourth judge over? You don't even know like what is he like, what is he not like. You're just trying to do your best and hope they like it.
Text Danielle 21523.
Yeah. And I also think that's the key.
The
It's
voting.
winning over the audience, not so much the judges, because the judges, it's four of them, and yes, they have the scores and they have 50% of the weight, but it's the audience, it's the fans at home. If you can win over them, I think that's the key to success of the show.
Did you ever dance with Kym on Dancing with the Stars? Was she ever part of when you were on it?
No.
She finished before you got on?
Yes. But we worked with Kym together on a project few years before we got on a show. And it was like a 2 week, we did like a stationary show in Canada. And she's just a delight as a human being. And we had such a good time together with her. And it was a pleasure working with her. So I just like, we communicated a lot. And those, I mean, 2 weeks was just the show itself, but the preparation and everything, so we got to know her really well. And it was just like an amazing experience. And she's a great dancer and a great person.
I think the lore of all of you guys is so cool to like, you guys worked with her before the show. It's so crazy today. How excited are you for the tour? Are there any stops that you're looking forward to?
Okay, I'm very excited for the tour. We're again going as a family. this time Val and Jenna are going as a family. So we have kids together, we're gonna have lots of play dates. So that's very exciting. Specifically stops, I need to check the map and actually see where we're stopping, because right now with the season being here, everything's so overwhelming. I didn't really look at the map yet. I just know we have a lot of shows. um, I think I saw Seattle on the map,
You like it up there?
and I like it. We have like our sushi spot over there that we like to go to.
So
And
funny.
yeah, again, foodies, foodies. But in general, I feel like every stop has something else to offer. Not gonna lie, we usually really look forward to the second half of tour when it gets a little warmer and we get to the warmer climates.
Because the first
In
half's
the
all snow.
beginning is snow and cold, and as great again, like Boston, New York, great cities. You know what I mean? Love them. Have so much to offer, and I think we're gonna be in like Boston a few days this time. So it's amazing, we'll get to like actually enjoy it. But the cold, when you're traveling on a bus and when you basically, taking a shower at the venue and then you come out in this freezing cold, and it's tough.
I know Ezra was really warming up to Nikita last season.
Mhm.
Has their bond strengthened?
We really haven't seen each other. Like we Nikita came one time recently, and the thing is, of course, she remembers everybody's names because we have like a book from tour that tour producers gave us, which was incredible. They did like this cartoonish uh book, which is an alphabet, and every letter, like A is for Alan, and it's like him on stage. It's like a cartoon drawing of him in his costume from the tour.
That's so cool.
It's amazing.
I want
It's
one.
incredible. Yeah, it's one of a kind. I think I need to do like a Instagram post and just like flip through the book. It's so good. And like D's for Danny, or also mom, as you know her, and it's like really cute. T's for tour boss, very, very cute. So like we read that book very often, so she knows like everybody's names, but now she can pronounce them better, because before Brandon was just B
Mm.
and Brit was BB, and now she can actually say Brit and Brendan. So, and when she came on set a couple of weeks ago, she was like right away so open, like as if there was no time in between. Like she was just so open with everybody. So it's amazing, and everybody's so good with her.
They're hitting record numbers with voting, and last week had 6 million viewers. Do you feel that in the everyday world out and about when you're just going around?
I think I feel it on social media a lot.
The instant
Yeah.
feedback, the reviews,
It's
the drafts.
people creating TikToks and reels about like their reactions, or them commenting their thoughts, or like how they would score, or them having little watch parties together and like baking uh cookies with like Dancing with the Stars things on them to watch and eat the cookies, or like they doing a whole board where they writing who they think is going to win. Like the amount of engagement, I can just feel how tuned in people are, how engaged they are, like that feels like it has elevated in the past few years, like with each age getting more and more intense for sure.
What was your first reaction when you found out Danielle was your partner?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, like first of all, like, you hear rumors like who might be on a show. Some people we don't know until the last second, truly. Like some secrets are like kept so well, and we don't even know like who else is on the show. But I think there were like already some rumors, and when we heard that, my wife Danny, she's like, I grew up on the show, and she goes, the best way to because in the 90s I wasn't here yet, right? So I came in 2001 to the States, and she's like, in the 90s, she goes like, uh, every boy wanted to be with her,
It's true.
every girl wanted to be her.
It's
She's
true.
like, this is the best way to explain to you who she is. And I literally binged watched a couple seasons right away, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. First of all, like the humor and everything, it's like the show is 30 years old, and it feels like so on, like right now, like you can relate to it. The humor is amazing, everything just like so good. I wish I just like during the season I had more time, because I had a chance to watch that before all the craziness started. So then I could watch all 7 seasons, you know. But even that just gave me like such a good idea, such a good perspective. Yeah,
When did the two of you really start to click and find the groove?
immediately.
Oh,
It just immediately from the. It's like one of those where the bond is instant. Like you don't need to get to know each other or fake it till you make it, or like instant. Just such an easy connection. We understand each other very well. We're in the same vibe. We kind of like think similarly. No,
Similarly.
I think that was correct, but it still didn't sound right. Oh my god. Okay, you guys get it. Yeah. So it's like she's such an awesome person, you know, thoughtful, funny. We get along really well on and off, you know, camera, like during the rehearsals, very great atmosphere outside rehearsals, you know. And I feel like we're in this together with the entire process. We discuss like the ideas, the creatives. Her husband Jensen is amazing, like very like involved, and he's, you know, like he sometimes like for Halloween we're building for next week the creative, and like he like threw some ideas like, oh, that's awesome, let's use that. So yeah, it's a great relationship that I think we're gonna have for like forever after the show. It feels like one of those like a friend for life type of thing right away.
That's awesome, because that's
Yeah.
also you too, because you are so warm and friendly, and everyone you meet, I feel like
Yeah.
really comes into your
Uh,
family, which is so cool.
Thank you.
Can we talk about a moment from a past season with Ariana when you
From
guys
2 seasons ago.
2 seasons
Yes.
ago, you do the dance, you get that first 10,
Hmm.
you hear the second 10, and then you get the third 10. What was your reaction when you found out you got the perfect score?
I think I remember I was crying, and there was a lot of like comments and TikToks about it. And you know, it's like whatever you do, you put your heart. It's not for you. You put it for your celeb. And how I look at it is, as pros, if we're lucky enough, we get to do this more than once, right? Like we get to be on more than one season, hopefully. But as celebs, there is no such thing. You hear this one time, and that's it, right? So you have this one time to make this experience memorable, that you leave it and have like no regret, no bad taste in your mouth, you know, that you like, you know what, that was an amazing experience. So whatever you do it really for them, right? At least this is the way I feel it. So whenever you hear good scores or bad scores, you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking, you know, like you really thinking about your celeb. And for me, I think it was just like the moment where I did feel that Ariana was doing so well the entire season, and there were moments where I was like, I think she already like she definitely deserves it, you know, and like we still weren't getting it, you know, like we got 110 and this. I'm like, and then at that moment, like everything aligned. It was the dance that was my favorite dance from that season. Nothing to do with the perfect score, I swear. It was just like I loved the song, I loved the. It was so many musical accents. I loved choreographing it. I loved our outfits. I love how it turned out on the live show. Everything just like aligned perfectly and fell perfectly into place. So I have a very good memory of that dance. And at the same time, then when that feeling aligns with the score, and I think that's why we were both crying, because we're just like, you know,
It was
like yeah,
perfect.
it was just a perfect dance, perfect week, perfect scenario. Yeah.
Did when you were going into it and choreographing it, did it feel different?
Meaning what?
Like, did it feel like, oh, this is something really, really special? We have the perfect song, perfect dance, the perfect style, the perfect.
You never know until it actually comes together, and like again, it's a process. You start on Wednesday, you start from scratch, zero, you're just learning the steps, right? And you're like, I don't know how this is gonna turn out. And with each day it's getting a little better, and then hopefully by Tuesday you're ready. But while choreographing, I was like, it did feel very, very. It was a foxtrot, but it had like these some little things that were different because of the music, and it was able um to put those little things in, and I was excited about it. I was excited. I was like, okay, putting a little twist and a little spice in this foxtrot. So like it was still classic foxtrot, but with the little things added, because there was little whistle sounds and a little like water droplet sounds. That I was like, okay, those we can really play with. So it was cool.
I don't want to say stressful because I don't think that's the word, but which day out of the week is the most, is it stressful?
It's stressful. The whole season is stressful. There is no such thing as no stress.
But would it be like Wednesday when you have to start teaching it again, or is it show day, or is it the day before show day?
I think every day brings its own type of stress, like what you just said. Like Wednesday when you just start and you basically you coming in with a prepped choreo that you prepared before the show, before the live show on Tuesday. You already coming in on Wednesday into rehearsal, like okay, and you just hope that whatever you thought is gonna look good on your celeb will actually look good. So that's thing number one. And like the things that you like think like, okay, not that they should be able to do everything from scratch, of course not, because they learning from scratch. But as you try it, you're like, okay, this feels like it's going somewhere. Okay, this feels like with a little bit of work, we can get it by Saturday, Sunday. Like for example, this week we are doing lifts for the first time, right? And like I'm coming in with lift ideas and I'm like, we tried it on the first day. I just needed to see like, is this even something we can do? And I was like, we did it. I'm like, okay, I think we can. We have time. We have a whole week, so we're practicing them every day, and every day it's getting better. So like you can right away kind of tell like, oh, this is just not going anywhere. Let's replace it. And this time, like, you know what I mean? It's like it's sometimes you feel some things just like not gonna work from scratch, and some things you like it has a potential. I mean, some things work from scratch right away, and some things it's like it's a potential. It's worth putting all that effort and time in to make it work.
Show and tell is when you trade the dances with other pros and celebs. Is there anyone that you do show and tell with every time you're in the rehearsal studio?
We haven't done show and tell in I don't know last like 3 weeks probably.
How come?
I don't think at this point anybody's doing them just because of how crazy the schedules are. Because when you start and you have 3 weeks leading up to the premiere, you kind of like by week two, hopefully you got your dance down. And then you still have a week to perfect it, and you're like, oh, we have a 4 hour rehearsal. Let's take an hour and go into a separate room and do show and tell and everything, right? And then now when the dances are getting longer, like we started with like a 55-second dance and now it's really like minute 20 at this point. It's like
Oh.
it's a whole third of a dance longer. And now that they danced a little bit, the choreography is getting more intense and everything. So sometimes you just barely have any time to like those 4 hours you treat every minute as like, okay, I need to use up this minute because then and then also like you might feel ready and then maybe somebody else is like, hey guys, we're not ready yet. We might be able to do show and tell tomorrow, but today we're not ready yet. So and then you just want to also be respectful to everybody because you don't want to take up their time. So in the beginning it's a little bit easier, and right now as it gets crazier, I just don't think we all in the same boat where we like, oh, Saturday, and we'll have just like this whole hour where we can go and just do it. But usually when we did it with whoever is in the studio at that time, and we did it a couple of times with Baron and Britt, with Andy and Emma, with Hilary and Gleb. We did it with Alex and Val. Who else did we do it with? Hmm. I think this might be it. But like it's whoever is available, whoever is in the studio at that time and they're like down to do it. But recently I didn't even like go and ask, and I nobody came in and asked us because I honestly haven't heard or seen anybody do it in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And now leading up into the like week 7, 8, we're getting more dances. We'll have like, how usually we start getting like team dances or dance offs or whatever. Like we'll see what it's gonna be this season, but we're starting to get more things thrown at us. So instead of just learning one style, which is now like a minute and a half long, you also going to be learning another style to do a dance off or a team dance. And so the amount of time stays the same that we have to rehearse, but it gets more jam packed. So there is just no time left for those things.
You choreographed a couple of the bumpers last season, right?
I choreographed, yes, couple of the bumpers, and Danny and I choreographed the opening for the 500th episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So does that just happen randomly and they're like, hey, do you want to choreograph this? And you're like, yeah, I have time. I can make that happen.
Yes, so the producers reach out, and they like, we would like for you to choreograph next week's bumper for this episode, for this theme or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Are
and it's
you
like it's different. I don't know like how exactly how it goes, and we got a notification, me and Danny, last season about the 500th episode like way in advance because like that was a big one and a lot of people were involved and a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces. So we knew quite a while in advance. Um, but yeah, it's just different every year. I think maybe if you get eliminated sooner, you obviously now have more time in your hands, so you getting your
those opportunities
yeah,
to
they use up, like your expertise, your ability to choreograph more because they know like, okay, now you have more time in your hand. Let's use you for this.
How did you like choreographing the 500th episode? Having all that talent that you could use.
Oh, the 500th episode, first of all, it was a huge honor. The fact that they asked us was like, this is a huge honor. And we had all the pros, the entire troupe, Derek and Julianne, Sharna. It was just like, it was amazing. It was a big number. It was a big production, and um, it was stressful leading up to it because again, Danny was still in the competition. We didn't know if the song is gonna clear until the literally last moment. We didn't know which version of the song exactly we're gonna have because we're trying to get like the Coachella version of Crazy in Love mixed with the original, so that because the two have like a little bit more of a dynamic to the song and again IPs and everything. So like clearing the tracks, it's a lot of moving pieces. So we don't really know. We knew that we're going to do it way in advance. What we didn't really have until almost the last moment was actually what we're dancing to. So we ended up choreographing very late in the game, so that's why it was very stressful. But the whole experience was actually very, very smooth, very good. All the pros were like so respectful and really put like their heart into this dance. So it felt amazing and have like a good feeling, good memories about it, both of how the product ended up being, but also the entire thing leading up to it. It was just like stressful waiting for that clearance for a second and restructuring the song a few hundred times, but other than that, everything else was great.
This is the 20th year as well now, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's exciting. And
Yeah.
I assume though you're not going to tell me anyway. Anyways, when you're on the chopping block of the eliminations, what are you thinking when you're just waiting for them to say whoever's name? What's going through your head?
You know how before, like few seasons ago, they had like a proper bottom two. Like whoever's in the bottom two were like the actual bottom two. And
Now that it's random.
yeah, and they would like be like, okay, this is the bottom two, but actually you're going home. Or this is the bottom two and the judge is safe, right? There were things like this. Now it's you're standing there. It's not necessarily you in the bottom three before they announce. So because it's not necessarily bottom three, you don't really have a different feeling because before it was like this, bottom two, you're like, oh wow, we're like on a brink of getting out. So like next week, you're like, oh, like you feel it. You're like, it was a close call. So next week is stressful. Here because it's not or the real bottom three, it feels a little different. The only difference is if you get called in the beginning, you don't have to survive that entire stress for like that extra minute or two, whatever it is, until your name is being called. If you're being called in the bottom three, that's again just adding extra stress for like another 2-3 minutes to your life. So for me, it's like they're literally like just killing us over there. You lose like a year per second or something. So the difference now is like if you get called in the beginning, you just like you don't have to be in that stress for too long. So that's the biggest relief. And then if you're there until the bottom three, you're standing there, you're like, okay, come on, say it already. And last time when they said nobody's eliminated, my brain didn't process it fast enough and the confetti already came out. And for me, it was like, it's like this red light and all of this, and then boom, confetti. And I'm like, like it was like my brain didn't understand what happened because like why are we celebrating the elimination, you know? And then I'm like, oh, nobody, like, there was like, my brain took a second when I saw the confetti flying, because they literally said no one's going home, and the confetti flew out so fast. I process confetti faster than I process the words.
It's so funny. Speaking of past seasons, if they brought back a stipulation from a past season, what would you want it to be? They've had trios, switch ups where you had different pros and celebs. Is there anything that you really enjoyed?
I wasn't there for any of those. I wasn't there for the trios, and I wasn't there for the switch up. I heard from many people that they did not like the switch up, that it was a very weird experience. So I trust my peers, and I'll be like, okay, I guess let's not do it. Um, Trios, I don't know, could be interesting. I love team dances, and I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna have one this year, because I feel like they've had it all the time, and just like a great thing. As long as we just have that, I'm happy, because team dances is like, it's its own thing. Like, I'm not crazy about like all the dance offs and the, like all of those things when you like two people dance next to each other. Those are okay. I'm not like super excited about those. But the team dance, that's cool. That's like a very stressful week. Don't get me wrong. Very stressful week. Because again, like, I don't know how it's gonna be this year, but prior we had this. We'll do the show. After the show, we were like one year we were drawing out of the hat who's going to be in which team. So we taped that entire process for the next week's package. So we're staying after the show, and we're drawing out of the hat. We're figuring out the teams. Okay. Then once you understand which team you're on, each team is being given their music. Okay. And then that year specifically, it was my first season. I was dancing with Kate Flannery. We went to the studio right after the show, after we taped it. So if the show finished at 7, we taped it. We got to the studio at like 9 p.m. and we were there. And you can stay there as long as you want while you're doing the choreo. So if you want to stay there until 3 a.m., go for it. So we were choreographing it then that night.
You and Kate.
No, the entire team.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the entire team just goes there. They're like, okay, you just got your music. So you just drew, you know who's in your team, the four couples in your team. This is your song. We literally, like, as we're driving from set to the studio, like, all the pros are listening to the song in their car. So once we get there, we all start sharing like ideas and then putting the dance together. And like, the faster you put the dance together, the sooner you're gonna go to sleep, because next morning you're gonna wake up and you're gonna start the rehearsals, and that's gonna be the team rehearsals when you're actually gonna teach the celebs like their steps and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know how it's gonna be this year, but that year it was tough. Like, you get basically no sleep right after the show. You're tired after a long day of show, and now you like have to come up and work as a unit and be like in sync and respectful, and like everybody's tired, but you need to like make sure you're a team. But the experience is amazing. It's so like, it's truly bonding between the celebs, especially. Like, now you were just competing against each other, and now you're a team competing against someone else, so you have to like, okay, we're together in this. When we had the team with Ariana, um Jason, uh Allison, and Barry, right? Allison was the team captain, and she brought these mirror ball like cups to drink out of and everything, to unite the team. So it was just such a good experience. We all had such a good time. And then we also, like, within our team dance, we did switch ups. So we got to dance with each other a little bit. It was cool.
Even at a young age, was dance something that you realize really brings people together, especially when you have a partner? Because the camaraderie that you guys all have is so special.
I grew up in a competitive world, right? So for us, like, I wasn't part of like any team group dances, those styles.
That
In the
doesn't exist
ballroom,
over there.
in the ballroom world, we just have a couple. You just have you and your dance partner competing
Oh.
against others, right? So, um, what you learn though is that you go and you compete every week, and one week you win, and another week you lose. And what you learn is you learn respect, you learn how to lose. And I remember my dad saying, he said, winning is easy. You win, you feel good, you were good. He goes, it's when you lose that's truly when you grow and you understand that, like, now go, and everybody who beat you go and congratulate them, shake their hand, say congratulations, like this is truly the sportsmanship, right? My dad was like very, very much on top of that like I do that. And for me, I think it's, even though we're competing against each other, it was that respect from the young age, that you have to have for each other, that kind of like builds you as a person, so I think it's not necessarily like we were a team all together. I didn't have that in my competitive world, but
The sportsmanship.
the sportsmanship, that's what it taught me. Yeah.
It's Saturday. Are you confident for next week?
This week, I'm super excited about it. Yeah, I'm like, the confidence on the show, it doesn't exist. because guys, we're talking about a live show with a brand new dance every week. I don't know if there is any celeb or any pro that can honestly say I'm confident. And if they are, they're lying. I'm excited. There are like different weeks. Sometimes you'll go in and you might be like less excited because of the style or whatever or something. This one I'm super excited about.
You're going to crush it. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Text Danielle 21523.
Yes, please.
All right. See ya. That was so good.